Yo, yo, yo. So, on to the important stuff, the signals. Right, so, I'm going to run you through basically what I'm seeing for a signal. And when I say signals, I'm talking about giving them out to people. So, what I'm seeing on a signal, what's there, how we tested it and why it existed, and then how I'm going to get out to everybody. So, the main reason why the signals exist in the physical aspect, as in I've got a private Telegram group where I get the graph of the signal, the past four candles, and I also get some text to tell me what the trade looks like. Okay, so the reason they exist in the first place is because it's all well and good developing AI or just simple algorithms, but knowing what's going on in the background, seeing the numbers that it produces and that it's seeing, rather than look at the trades and say I'm making a loss or I'm making a profit on each trade, I wanted to see exactly what it was doing and what it was thinking. So in that case, what happens is I generate those signals for me and others to quality check, to make sure it's doing the right thing, to make sure it's seeing what I think it's seeing. Okay, so what happens with them? Well, okay, at the moment we are watching the 1 hour, the 30-minute, and the 4 hour time frames, and we will pick through them and just have a look at what they look like, make sure they're right, make sure the numbers on there are okay. Anything that's decent, like this morning there was Dash had quite a bit of blue sky between the entry and the TP1. We'll take those trades and trade with them. We use them as you can use them in many different ways. You don't have to use the exact numbers that are on there. Sometimes it's nice to have a prompt that something's happening on a pair that maybe you weren't even looking at the time. So sometimes it's just a nudge in the right direction. So I guess, would you blindly take? Hopefully you wouldn't blindly take a trade. That's the one thing that's always put me off giving out signals to people. But I have to learn that and come to terms with the fact that if people do get wrecked following them, then it's your own fault. So they are based off the strat, obviously, at the beginning, and then a filter is applied before it even gets to us. And some of the filters are like the chop index. So if the asset is going sideways, it won't enter into a trade, it won't do anything. If it's going up, it will. If it's going down, it will. So that's a metric that's used immediately when the signal's generated. Okay. Then the other metric is time lapse of candles. So if you are on an hourly candle and it's a weak one, it's not breaking very far, and say it's an inside and it breaks up as a 2. If it breaks up as a 2 after the 45th minute of an hour, you've not got much time left within that hour. So in that case, I bin the signal off. It's just not worth it, right? Equally, if the signal doesn't have much blue sky, much profit between the entry and the TP1, then again it won't signal. So there are a couple of very quick filters that it can do to figure out whether, because you have to think about, and this is a tip for you guys that are designing stuff, you have to think about, you've got your signals, but then when you look at a chart, when you physically look and go, oh, I'd take that, or I wouldn't take that, what you need to do is write down, I've got something that I would or wouldn't take and I'm making a decision on it. How do I mathematically represent that decision that I'm seeing on screen? So, a sideways index, a sideways consolidation within an asset, you would use an ATR with a look back value of 14 and use that chop index. So some of these will be technical indicators, and I know the guys who do the strat don't like it, but we are talking about trading with algorithmic software, not human beings, so you need to present them with numbers for them to make decisions on. So that's something to bear in mind whenever you do look at and you're wanting to filter things out. You have to represent that in a mathematical aspect. Once it's been generated and it's as good as good can be, it then gets fired off and we pick up on it and filter through and have a look, maybe have a trade. Now after that, on the algorithm side, there is a lot that goes on with the deep learning. It looks at all different aspects, and like I've said before about the market sentiment and everything, that's a whole other thing that is not applicable to the signal. The signal is simply a very clean signal. The filters that are then applied afterwards. So you will get that raw signal at the start for you to make a decision to look on the chart and go, okay, yeah, I'm taking it or not taking it. Now, like I said, there are three of us, all three of us know how to trade the strat. We have been going through these signals for the past couple of months now. I'm quite happy with them. Obviously, I'm happy with the profit that the bot's bringing in. So it was a case of trying to get it out to you guys and so everyone can receive it. Now I've put a questionnaire out there which was filled in by a few people, and I am deeply grateful. Thank you for taking your time out to fill that in. It allows me to see, because I trade on a certain time frame, and I actionable signals on certain time frames. So it's nice to see what other people do, and also it gives me an idea of what I need to put out there, because I can judge my bandwidth and my limits by what people would want. Okay, so, and what I mean with that is the issue that I'm trying to overcome is the fact that if I signal off the 30-minute and the hourly, let's say, on 20 pairs, and on the flip, on the hour flip, we have the 10 of them, half of them, go 2 up. So it will generate, because every combo is a position in my world, that will generate 10 positions. That will generate 10 signals just for the 30-minute. Then the hourly minute as well. So that's the hourly signal as well. So that's 20 signals generated in a second. Now, Telegram rate limit you to 20 per minute. Let me see where I'm coming. Now, if you extend that and say you want 3 and 5 minute time frame for the snipers, 30 minutes and an hour for intraday, and daily and weekly for swings, then in that case I have a bit of a problem, because that becomes 60 a minute, which is way over the limits. So I'm trying to figure out a way of cutting down the amount that goes out there to make sure it's higher quality, and also how to go about this. So one of my thoughts, which is why I presented you with the Telegram thing, is to have separate groups. So there'll be a sniper group, intraday group, and a swing group, and you can join all 3 groups. That would be fine, but it would allow me to make use of more rates. So I would have a rate limit on there of 60 messages per minute, and I can get away with that. So and what you've managed to do by telling me what time frames you're trading on will allow me to make sure I direct my efforts as best to cover everybody as being as inclusive as possible. Right, so that's what I've been generating. That's the reasons why they're there. As long as it doesn't cost me anything more, I can just chuck that out there and get that out there. Now, I don't want anything for the signals because I generate them anyway. I do need to do the work to make sure that they're generated and sent out so humans can see, because, like I say, mine's just a bit of testing. So I don't personally want anything for that. I make my money out of trading and I'm quite happy with that. But what I will say is, rather than charge a subscription fee, which I've seen some do, that's fine, is that I am not going to give any support for the signals. There's going to be no groups or anything. It will just be straight fire hose worth of signals. And for that, I am going to say, let's have an entrance fee to the signalling rooms or signalling group of $5 or more, and those $5 I will sort an address out for is to be donated to the library that I use in Python, which is developed by a guy called Will from Scotland. I'm deeply grateful for that, and you know, it's all right me putting into it, but if we're all going to benefit from it, then I think it's only fair, and it doesn't break the bank, especially for people that are doing it to make money to trade with. So I'm going to ask that everyone donate to whatever address I manage to sort out with him, or his Ko-fi account, whichever, a minimum of $5 as an entrance fee. And it can be for all, like if you wanted to work across all 3 different time scales, then that's fine too. It would only be an entrance fee for once, and as long as there's some proof there and that I can double check with him that he's received whatever it is, then I can add you to the groups. I think that's only fair. It gives something back. He does it out of the good of his own heart, because he's a developer by trade, but this is open source software that he's created. So I think that's only fair. And that's it really. So hopefully, costs next to nothing, but will make you some decent money. And looking at the market, not surprising either. It's looking good. All right, I'll catch you online. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.